Today, the Mona Lisa is the most recognized face on the planet. But it wasn't always this way. In 1911, it was just another painting. In fact, it was so obscure that it took a daring heist to make it a global superstar. And that heist was pulled off by a man named Vincenzo Peruggia. Peruggia was an Italian immigrant and a former employee at the Louvre. He was hired to install protective glass on some of the world's greatest masterpieces. He knew the corridors, he knew the schedule, and he knew exactly how the paintings were secured, or rather, how they weren't. On Sunday, August 20th, Peruggia entered the museum and hid inside a supply closet. He stayed there overnight, waiting for the building to go silent. Monday morning arrived. The museum was closed for maintenance. Peruggia stepped out, wearing his white worker's smock to blend in. He walked straight to the salon care. There she was. He lifted the 200-pound frame off its 4 iron pegs with ease. He rushed to a back staircase, where he removed the painting from its heavy frame. He didn't need the wood. He just wanted the wood panel painting. He wrapped the Mona Lisa in his white smock, tucked it under his arm, and prepared to leave. But he hit a snag. The exit door was locked. Peruggia tried to remove the doorknob, but it wouldn't budge. He was trapped with the world's soon-to-be most famous painting. Just then, a museum plumber passed by. Thinking Peruggia was a fellow worker, he opened the door for him. Peruggia walked out into the streets of Paris. Because the museum was closed for a day, nobody even noticed she was gone. It took over 24 hours for the alarm to be raised. The police were baffled. They found a fingerprint on the glass frame, but their database was small and disorganized. They missed a match for Peruggia. Desperate for leads, they arrested the famous poet Guillaume Apollinaire. He spent a week in jail before they realized he was innocent. Even Pablo Picasso was brought in for questioning. The world was in a frenzy, and the mystery only made the painting more alluring. For the first time, people who had never cared about art stood in line for hours just to stare at the empty wall. The Mona Lisa was now a household name. 2 years passed. Peruggia kept the painting in a wooden trunk in his apartment, just blocks away from the Louvre. She was right under their noses. In late 1913, Peruggia finally reached out to an art dealer in Florence, Italy. He signed his letter Leonardo and offered to sell the painting. They met in a hotel. Peruggia opened the false bottom of his trunk. The dealer was stunned. It was the real Mona Lisa after 2 long years. Peruggia claimed he was a hero. He said he stole it to return it to its true home in Italy, believing Napoleon had stolen it originally. But his patriotism was based on a mistake. Leonardo da Vinci had actually sold the painting to the King of France in the 1500s. It wasn't stolen. The dealer called the police. Peruggia was arrested in his hotel room. The heist of the century was finally over. Because the public in Italy saw him as a patriot, Peruggia only served 7 months in prison. He became a folk hero to many. Before returning to France, the painting went on a grand tour of Italy. Thousands flocked to see the masterpiece that had vanished and returned. When she finally returned to the Louvre, she was no longer just a painting. She was an international sensation, forever changed by her disappearance. The greatest art heist in history didn't require high-tech lasers or a team of experts. It just required a white smock and a closet. So next time you see that enigmatic smile, remember, her fame was built on a simple walk out the front door. Thank you for watching.